Hey everybody, Mike Pfeiffer with Pfeiffer Hobby Supply. I'm getting 2 videos done today, but nevertheless, one thing I wanted to do before I get too carried away working today is I wanted to do a review on the Kato 240 Roundhouse. This is what it looks like, and we're gonna get in there and open it up and see what it looks like, and I'll give you my impressions and we'll go from there. Okay everybody, this is the Kato 23-240 engine house for their turntable, or roundhouse for their turntable. While you can see it's a concrete building, not a lot of detail to it, and so forth, I think it can be made to look relatively Americanized. So we're going to open it up today and see how she looks inside. So let's take a look here. It's all Kato stuff, extremely well packaged. We'll set that guy aside. By the way, let me move this out of the way for a second. Nice clear instructions on the back of how you can assemble a couple of their other buildings, as well as the turntable, and how you can expand the trackage you need for the turntable, accessory switches and 3-ways, and powerizing the tracks, which I believe the turntable powers those tracks anyway, but I think if you wanted to put insulators in here and then refeed tracks outside here, you could do that. But I haven't gotten that far. We're not going to go into wiring anything up today as far as the turntable. But a nice clear instructions on the back, their actual engine house, and some facilities that probably may or may not go with the Americanization of stuff. This kit has a platform, a work platform on it, which might be nice inside, but I think I'll go with something else if I can find something etched or whatever. But anyway, let's start looking at the model itself. Like I said, the packaging is extremely well done. We have a lot of decals here. Most of them are not applicable to US, obviously. However, some of the striping and stuff, maybe if you chose to use it, you could cut some of this up and use the stripping. By the way, I don't believe these are decals. I think these are self-adhesive, but I'm not going to worry about that right now because I will hardly be using any of this. But I just want you to know that it is in there. Now let's open up the box. Kind of a 4-way opening box. And you can see that the model itself is well protected inside. And now we'll take a look at the model itself. Okay, the first thing I noticed right out of the box, and of course we all deal with this, is the fact that the plastic is very shiny. The whole thing is going to need to be dulled down. And as we get into this further, I'll give you a little more information on that. But the first thing I noticed when I went to pull it out of the cardboard is, and I thought it was all assembled and all together, which basically it is. But I realized when I picked up the engine house, or the roundhouse, that the track and the base are attached individually, and the tracks just sit in there. That's kind of a neat feature, because once you put it up against the turntable, you can go ahead and hook these tracks, and then you could potentially just slide this under, or you could already have it sitting there, and you can lay the tracks in, and you don't need to glue them down. That's another nice thing. And the other nice thing is they already have work pits in them. And inside the roundhouse, the floor is raised up to the height of the track already. You can see that the track fits in there perfectly in the slot that they have already got cut in there. And I think that's very cool, because then if you ever need to replace track or anything for whatever reason, or you wanted to put a piece of straight track in there without the pit or whatever, they just lay right in there. I think that's a very nice piece of engineering. And you can see that I think you can see that all of the molding on this thing is extremely crisp, just as is everything that Kato makes. If we look inside, you can see that it has what appear to be concrete pillars inside that actually hold up the roof. You can see that the fascia of the building is all concrete. You can also see that the sides are concrete, which is not really abnormal for an engine house in this country. A lot of things in those ages were made of concrete. I don't know how prototypical sloping straight to the back is, but I'm sure somebody did it somewhere. I can live with that. Maybe some people can't. It's okay for me. I think I'm obviously going to go in and paint some of this concrete and use some of the, my bottles are well worn, but some of the panel line Tamiya paints, and maybe in the concrete color. This might be a good excuse to use the concrete color if I wind up painting this with concrete paint. I'll probably do something about the trim, maybe paint the trim a different color. Obviously, I'll probably paint the strips of tar paper on the roof and do my usual weathering around the vents. I may even add additional vents to the top of it. I'm not sure. Inside, I will probably just put minimalistic details inside, tool benches and stuff like that I have, that I rescued from the engine house, that I removed from the layout. The windows in the building are extremely well done. Pre-painted, you know, and the panes of glass are all individual. What I might do is go in and paint some of those kind of a turquoise color or white color, like broken panes of glass that have been replaced, as you would see in older industrial buildings. Kids throw rocks through them or whatever. The back of the building, I think, is very nice. I like the extremely large amount of windows that it has. It also has some downspouts molded in here too, which I think is a very nice feature. Those could be painted copper color. Santa Fe used a lot of copper for a lot of their downspouts on depots and so forth. And like I say, I realize this is not prototypical to anything American, but I think it's American looking enough that it's plausible, at least on my layout. Or it will be. You'll also notice that it's void of any kind of doors. That doesn't bother me either. I live in the Southwest, and it doesn't get that cold here, so it would be plausible too that it would not have doors. The upper part where the roof of the building slopes up, it's open here, as well as the vents on the roof. And I would imagine that in the prototype, if there is a prototype in Japan, that was done to allow smoke and gases to come up, follow the roof line, and vent out. I just noticed something. I touched this vent. I just dropped a part. I'll find it. But I noticed that the vent just pops in. And then it had a little, I believe it had a little round keeper on it. A little collector, if you will. I think you can see it in there. Like a little button. I'll find that guy here somewhere. Oh, here it is. That's what it looks like. It's just a collector, smoke collector. But anyway, that's kind of ingenious the way they did that. There was no gluing of parts. They just stick them through, put that piece on to hold it. I'm going to try to remove the roof. I don't know how hard I want to try. It looks like it's going to go. This might be easier if I push on it with something through there. Well, I'm not going to... I can see that the roof will come off so you could detail the inside. I'm not going to waste your time on the camera, but I would guess if I pushed a screwdriver down through here, my guess is that it swedges in just like those roof vents, and I believe if I just pried on this enough, it would come off of there. But I don't want to break it right now. But it's going to have to be disassembled for the painting part. And I also think... Well, let me get off the camera here and see if I can get this darn roof off without wasting all of your time, because I want to try to get the windows out of it. So let me come right back. Okay, I was able to get the roof off, and I'll explain that in just a second. Here you see this vent that I pulled off, and you can see that the little tangs, I guess if you will, hold the vent on. I don't know if I'll trust that down the road. I'll probably wind up gluing that. If I add any lighting or anything, it's very easy to glue stuff to the roof. There's some channels in the roof here that you could glue stuff to. But let me show you how I got the roof off. It has 4 screws down in these holes. Okay? And you need a longer Phillips screwdriver, small Phillips screwdriver, down in the holes. Unscrew the 4 screws, rescue them, save them somewhere, and there you go. So here's the base, here's the track, here's the 4 screws, here's the roof with the vents, and here's the base. Now what I wanted to find out, and it looks like just like in their passenger cars, the windows are held in by some little pins on the bottom, and then when you put the, let me see here, there's some little pins right down in there you can see, and the window just lays in there and tilts. Let me see if I can get it in place. Tilts up into place, and when you put the roof on, the roof holds it in place. Okay, so to paint this building, all you do is take the roof off, pull the windows out, and off you go. Okay, really a very simple yet effective design, not overbuilt like some, not as detailed as some. You could actually, from the back side, glue some windows in here if you had the desire. You could actually glue some doors on facing outward. They would always probably be represented by being open. That wouldn't be a problem. You could create those from styrene sheet. But overall, I really like the engineering of this thing. Like I say, I don't know how appropriate the pillars are inside, but once you get some lighting in there, once you get some details in there, and once you get some locomotives in there, I think all that's going to become kind of a moot point. But there you have it. There's not a lot of pieces. Let me see here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27 total pieces to this. Very easy to disassemble, very easy to work with. And if you buy another one of these, they're smooth, because they're concrete, they're smooth on the edge here, and it would just butt up against this and keep going around your turntable. By the way, these turntable openings are 10 degrees. I believe it says that on the box, or I read it somewhere, but I know they're 10 degrees. Maybe it's on the turntable. But anyway, there you have it. A full disassembly and how does it work. And I hope you enjoyed this video today. Hey everybody. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the review of the Kato Roundhouse. Let me just hide myself behind it here. I love the construction of it. I love the simplicity. I love the beauty of it, and the fact that I don't know how Kato manages to do it, but the total lack of any kind of flash, any kind of lack of trimming of pieces, anything, and it comes fully assembled, just like their all of their buildings, all of their big industrial buildings and so forth. I don't use a lot of them because they are Japanese looking, and a lot of them are very modern. But I'm going to use this roundhouse, and like I said, I'll do some concrete painting on it and a little bit of weathering, painting of the windows and stuff like I said, and maybe some more details and stuff on the roof, compressors, maybe a little outbuilding outside. You know, there's all kinds of ways you can fix one of these up. Maybe a little office space off of one side over 2 of the windows. That might be something that would accentuate it a little bit. But I'll have to wait until we get ready to put it in place. But anyway, this was just a review of the product itself, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And as usual, thanks for watching.